Hi there. In this video we'll be covering how to write and publish a good book. Writing and publishing a book is easier than ever before, but not a good one. A good one actually takes some time, it takes some effort, it takes some hustle and struggle, and ultimately going through those processes can help you really write a transformative book. Writing a good book, in fact, comes down to 4 elements. In this video, I'll dive into all 4 of those elements and help you on the right path. By the end of this video, you will learn the importance of reflection, how to get and stay writing, and why publication day is only the beginning. And stay tuned until the end of the video for an opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. As you think about writing a book, I want you to start by diving deep. Reflection. I want you to think about the book that you want to write. I want you to think about your purpose. What is your purpose for writing this book? You really need to unlock your purpose, because if you don't unlock your purpose, you're going to want to give up. Writing a book is very difficult, and if you don't really figure out deep down inside what's driving you and fueling you, what you want to accomplish on the opposite side of this book, it's really going to be tough for you to keep going, or you're going to want to cut corners, or you're going to just do things that are going to undermine your progress. Reflection really means thinking deeply about the topic of your book, why you're the right person to write it, what your story is to this path of writing, what made you the expert or what made you interested in learning more, thinking about other books in this space and how it compares. What's the gap that you're filling in the marketplace of books? When you think about popular books in your space, what is it that they're not doing? Because you don't want to just recreate a book that's already out there. If you want to write a book about habit-forming behavior, you don't want to go and recreate Atomic Habits, because no one's going to read your book. Atomic Habits has been read, like 25 million times. That's the habit book. So you need to do something different if you want your book to stand out. So what is the difference? What is the X factor? What is the thing that makes your book unique from every other book that's ever been written? You really need to unlock these pieces before you start writing a single word. And once you go through that process, then you think about, okay, what is the hook of this book? What's the thing that a reader is going to learn and take away and carry forward in their life? The outline, how is the book structured? The audience, which we covered, who is going to read this book, because it's not for everybody. If you want to write a book for everybody, might as well not even bother, because there is no book that exists like that. And just really making sure that all these pieces connect together, that you're writing a book that resonates, writing a book that helps you with your goals, and being honest about your goals. If your goal is to be a public speaker and to give public speeches, write a book connected to your message of your speech. If you want to write a book that gets you lots of revenue, you need to connect a sales funnel to the book, so you have other things you're offering, because the book by itself is not going to be that. You really need to think about what your goals are and make sure that you can unlock them within the book. Once you do this deep reflection work and, you go to a duck pond and sit there and just watch the ducks for a while and just think about stuff, writing's the next step. Writing is where the rubber meets the road. This is where all of that good planning effort comes through. There's a lot of people who, when they start writing a book, they just start writing. And they say, I'm going to go find whatever it is I'm going to write. And I'm not necessarily denigrating that. Some people have been very successful with that approach. I think it's wasteful. I think it's less efficient than if you plan things out. So if you don't plan things out, get prepared to write a lot more than you need to, and probably get more frustrated along the way, because you're still figuring out where you're going. So you're kind of merging the reflection and the writing steps together. You're saying, okay, let me reflect during the writing and figure this out. You still need to reflect at some point. So I'm just suggesting you do it first before the writing. But when you get to writing, think about what your writing approach is. How do you get words onto the page? What's the best way for you to write your book? Your mode could be something completely different than typing away. It could be going on a long car ride and talking through your book and recording yourself talking and uploading that audio to an automatic transcription tool like Rev or Otter, and then using that automatic transcription for text. I've done that with my projects. I kind of bounce around between different modes. And what's interesting for me is I typically will sit and write. That's my preferred. But if I am stuck on a different spot in the book, I will actually just go for a walk and talk it through and just throw out ideas onto this voice, just throwing ideas out. No filter, no thought to it, just throwing words out. And it's really interesting what comes out of it. And sometimes it's a waste of time. Sometimes it really unlocks something powerful. And free writing is another way to do that with writing sprints. I love doing that as well, where I'll just sit and type for 10 or 20 minutes. Just write about a specific topic, not have any direction in mind, just write. Just write and see what comes out. Type, 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 type. Not editing, not cleaning it up, just write. Just sit and write for 20 minutes. If you can do that, you can make the momentum to write your book. It really is that simple. I know it sounds complicated, but it doesn't need to be. If you think today I'm going to spend 10 minutes writing, and you write 250 words or 300 words, you can get your book done. It just takes time. All of this takes time and effort, and it's really a reflection of consistent progress, of momentum from day to day to week. The next step to this process I call pathways. What is your path to publishing this book? There's so many different paths to publishing. We think about the traditional model of working with a literary agent and a publisher, of writing a book proposal, going through the process, getting an advance, all this stuff. There's a lot of hoops to jump through that way. And more traditional publishers are focused on author platform. If you don't have a big social media platform, if you don't have the ability to sell books, traditional publishers typically will not waste their time with your book, no matter how good it is. It's frustrating, it's the truth. I have projects I've worked on with clients with amazing, awesome stories that have had trouble selling their book to traditional publishers because of the fact that their platform isn't big enough. I don't even know what big enough is. It's so frustrating because these authors even do have platforms. They have tens of thousands of social media followers, sometimes even hundreds of thousands, but publishers are reticent and they are devoting less resources to books today. And because of that, they want the sure thing. They want to know that authors are going to sell copies of the books themselves. So the traditional process is kind of a little murky right now, which for me drives more and more people and opportunities to self-publishing. Self-publishing is an incredible approach. It's an incredible opportunity for people. There's no gatekeeping, which is nice. No one has to tell you your book is good enough or anything like that. It's your book. But at the same time, you need to work with professional people to help you cross the path to publishing. To publish a book that's actually going to have an impact and be a solid book, you want to work with editors. You want to work with designers. Yes, you can do these things yourself, but I feel like, especially with editing and design work, if those aren't your focuses, you're already leaving opportunities on the table. You want the reader to know as soon as they pick up this book that this is a high quality book. You want to work with quality professionals because the higher the quality of the book, the more likely it is that people are going to want to read it and share it. If you go to Amazon right now and click on a book that's, maybe has a 3.7 rating or lower, there's usually flaws with it. The story struggled, the layout was weird, there was a lot of errors in the final product. These are things that could have been addressed by people, editors and designers who could have helped on the book. These are missed opportunities. And when your book has a rating under 4.0 on a 5 scale, like on Amazon, Amazon's not going to promote the book the same way, so it becomes more of a challenge. So you really need to do everything you can to make sure that the quality is as high as it can be and that you have set yourself up to be in position for success from the book. Along with pathways, you want to think about distribution. A lot of people publish on Amazon, which is great. Amazon is the world's biggest bookseller, but publishing your book on Amazon will not put it in bookstores. Bookstores do not buy their books from Amazon. They buy their books from a different company, a different distributor called Ingram Spark. Uploading your book on Ingram Spark is a nightmare wrapped in a mystery. There's no coherence behind it. It's just really it's a lot. I've done it a couple times with people. It's a lot. It's a struggle. It's such a great feeling when you can get across the finish line. There's ISBN issues. There's file issues. There's so many things that pop up. But at the end of it, on the opposite side of it, is the ability for tens of thousands of booksellers across the world to have access to your book. Without getting approved and uploaded in Ingram Spark, these bookstores are never going to find your book because to them it doesn't even exist. So you need to think about distribution, and then you need to think about how are you going to get the word out? Through your network, through your connections, through your relationships, through social media, through speaking engagements, through targeted Amazon advertising, through social media advertising. There's so many different things that you can do, email blast on forward, to promote your book. So it's so special when you can really think about the best way to go about promoting your book and getting the message out there so the right people find it. Because if you're thinking about your goal in reflection stage is to drive customers to your company and generate revenue, if you can get your book in 50 or 100 people's hands, your core audience, they could end up spending 6 figures or 7 figures to work with you. Like, there's lucrative opportunities on the opposite side of writing the right book for the right audience, but you need to connect all of these dots. The last step I want to focus on is transformation. This book is a transformative process for both the reader and for you, the author. It's so exciting when I can see the transformation in an author's journey. The person they were when they started writing the book to the person they were when the book was published. When I can see it in their eyes, I can recognize the lift. They carry themselves differently. They're a different person because of this book. And you want your reader to be a different person too, because their life has been transformed by your words. Your message has the power to transform lives, the readers and your own, and you want to make the most of that opportunity. You want to be vulnerable and clear and honest, and you want to write the book in a way that draws people in so they can get your message, because your message is so much gold. You don't want them to lose focus on it because they didn't like the cover or because the first couple pages were flat. Like, there's so much opportunity in your story, and that transformation is such a powerful element. If you want to learn more about how to write and publish a good book, I'd love for you to check out my website. It's writeagoodbook.com. There you can get my tips, sign up for my emails. You can even book a call with me so we can talk about your project and see what your needs are to bring your message forward. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.